And that's how you get demonetized.
What is up?
What is going on?
Wow.
Thank you all
Jake's
so much.
sister.
Yes, this is Jasmine. Hi, Jasmine.
KillJoy Jasmine here tonight. I sound exactly like Jake. Same voice. I'm his twin sister. What's up?
I don't know.
I should
who's
talk in a
prettier.
lower register, just like hey.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know who's prettier, you or Jake.
Yeah.
Depends on what you're into.
I'm having all kinds of mixed feelings here.
All kinds of mixed feelings, man.
Jake's sister.
Yeah, there you go.
Between the underwear scenes in the movie and this, Fate is all kinds
Seriously?
of confused, man.
Dude, I've never been more confused about my sexuality than I am right now.
Oh my god.
I've been pretty straight my whole life, and then I see Jake in a wig, and it's just,
Makes you question all of that.
yeah. Anyway, thank you all so much for being here. Sorry we're late. We had some technical difficulties, but we figured it out. We got it here. Blanket hello to everyone. Thank you all so much for being here. So let's jump right into the topic. So anyone got something specific that they want to talk about, or do you want me to lead? I have something that we could talk about.
Well, I am dressed like this for a reason.
Go ahead. Talk. Tell us about your new career in drag.
Oh yeah, well, no, I'm kidding. I don't
Struggling
know,
as a YouTuber, huh?
yeah, couldn't do that, so here I am doing this.
$20 is $20.
$20 is $20. It doesn't matter how you made it. But so did you guys see Megan yet, or am I the only one?
I have not.
Okay, well, what I will say is it's kick-ass. I really liked it. Really good movie. Go check it out if you can. I really liked it. So, we'll keep it Scream focused since you guys haven't seen it yet.
No, so I mean, give us a general idea, because here's the thing. Me personally, I'm not gonna I will see it. I do want to see it eventually. I wasn't in a rush because I was like, okay, this is just, what was it, 2013 Child's Play all over again. So I'm a little like on the fence of like, I was like, I don't know. It just didn't seem like a movie that I was in a rush to see. I'm like,
Dude, I totally agree. Like, I completely agree. That was like my mindset going into it as well. It's so different from Child's Play 2019. Like, it's a completely different movie, even though the premise is basically the same thing. Man, I used to have long hair in high school, and I'm so glad I don't anymore. I don't know how people do it. But, yeah, no, dude, it's really good. I really enjoyed it. Blew me away. And it was stuff that's not really translated in the trailer, which is the first time I think I've ever said that about Blumhouse.
Wow,
So,
good.
Yeah. So check this one out. I recommend seeing it in the theater too. I had a great theater experience. I had a lot of people kind of comment on my videos saying that, their theater experiences weren't great. But I don't know. People were like clapping and stuff at the end. It was really exciting, really good stuff. So I recommend it. Go check it out. Go watch it. 2023 is already off to a great start for horror movies. How about them apples?
Yeah, sweet.
Love
Been excited about it for a long time, so I'm glad to hear that. That's awesome.
Good. But to transition to Scream is so we got that new image of Ghostface, and in case you didn't notice, it's a different mask.
Heck yeah, it is.
So now we got 3 masks.
That's right.
That we know of. We got the classic Colgate white mask, the elongated white Ghostface mask. We got like zombie, decayed Ghostface, whatever you want to call it. I've seen like people call it all kinds of different things. We got that mask, and now we got the new mask from the new image that is actually closer to 96 mask with the shorter mouth,
right?
More like kind of almost chubby on the end. So like, what are your thoughts? Do you guys think that this is like a little clue towards maybe 3 killers? Right? Is this like our kind of thought? Like, I actually want to do like a full in-depth video about that. Kind of touched on it on the video I posted this morning, but what are your guys' thoughts on just the 3 masks period? And do you guys have any like running theories that you'd share right now? Jake, you want to start?
Yeah. So I think with the different mask, and we also know that picture is from the opening kill. I'm imagining that we won't see the other mask maybe until further into the movie. Maybe like the next kill, it's like, oh, who's this guy? What the heck's going on here? I do think that, and it might not, but I do think that this kind of confirms that we'll have at least 2 killers this time around. I'm hearing an echo, by the way. I don't know if that's yeah. Cool. Just wanted to make sure that's not coming through any of your guys' stuff.
Yeah, I don't hear anything like that.
I don't hear anything.
Okay, maybe I'm just crazy.
Yeah,
I'm just
good.
crazy. Never mind.
It's the split personality. It's
right. I'm slowly transitioning into a robot, so that's really making this tough. Trying to become Megan. So no, but yeah, no, I think it kind of confirms that we're gonna get 2 killers with how we've done stuff in the past. I just imagine the lead guy, whoever it is probably the one wearing the crackled old mask or whatever, and then this is like one of his lackeys or something running around killing people in the streets of New York. That's my guess, at least. I'm not 100% sure, but that's where I'm at with the picture right now.
Craven?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm with you. I think that this is definitely 3 masks for sure. So we've either got a couple of people wearing different masks, interchanging them out, which is a possibility. But I prefer to believe this is 3 people, 3 different people. And again, I know it could be one. In fact, heck, it could be one person wearing multiple masks. But I really do hope this is an indication of 3 killers. And I know that also tying into that Christmas poster that we got back on Christmas Day with a total of 19 Ghostface. I don't think there's 19, of course, but obviously. But on the bottom, look over on the left-hand side. What always grabbed me was right below the Blackmore University, you had these 3 Ghostface right there on the left, kind of like on a billboard together, these 3 faces. Yeah. And whenever I did a video, I did one also I did mine yesterday about the 3 different masks, and I lined them all up, and it really, and again, it doesn't mean it's this, but I'm just saying it reminded me, like, you know what, this looks familiar. And then there's those 3 together. And I just wondered if those 3 together meant something. It may not. But I do think it does mean, honestly, more than 2 killers. I do think we're getting finally 3 and maybe even more, perhaps, in this movie. But one thing we can all, I think, agree upon, there are definitely 3 masks in this movie, minimum, which is very exciting. And if the idea of a cult that we've all talked about for years, if that ever was actually going to happen again, or happen, period, I think this is the movie. The groundwork's there for it. It's just a matter of whether they're going to cash in on the cult idea or just go with 1 or 2 people doing multiple masks, maybe 3. We'll have to see. But I'm very excited about this. And you're right, that mask is so different, much shorter mouth, and it is more of a callback to the older, the older look, the look before Scream 3 when things got more uniform moving forward. So I'm excited, guys. Honestly, I'm really pumped about it.
Yeah, likewise. I think it's about time that they use multiple masks, right? I mean, dating back to Scream 4, like, Fun World came out with all the different masks, what was it, the Scarecrow mask, the Devil mask, like all those things, because they were supposed to be used in the movie. And then they never ended up using them. Like Gale's attack scene in the barn, like that was supposed to be the Scarecrow mask, and they never ended up doing that. Scream 5, Radio Silence, in one of their interviews, talked about how they wanted to implement different masks, right? Like one of their very first interviews, and they never ended up doing that. And so it's nice now to see that we're getting that. We knew that there would be various masks for months now because of the image of the museum, and all the masks are missing. So you got to imagine that like that will play a role. And Radio Silence did say that that's going to be like the zombie mask or whatever you want to call it. That's supposed to be, that has a purpose. Like it's not just for an aesthetic, right? It's not just, look at this mask. There's actually supposed to be something in play with that. So I think that is pretty cool. I do think it is pretty interesting towards like the 3 Ghostface. Now, granted, between now and the time of the movie, maybe there's 5-6 masks, and we're all like, okay, well, there's probably not going to be 6 killers. But right now, it is an interesting sign that kind of points to that. And then I saw Hank earlier in the comments mention maybe they drop masks like Maureen's pictures in Scream. I've said the exact same thing in videos. I actually think that that's a real possibility, because as soon as I saw the first time I ever talked about that was when we saw the mask on the ground, the zombie Ghostface mask, whatever that's on the ground. I was like, oh, like that makes sense. Like that maybe they leave it as a calling card. Somebody went, stole all the masks, came in, and now is using them to kill and is like leaving them as like their calling card. I think that would be a pretty good route to go about it. But were you gonna say something, Jake?
I was gonna say, going off of like the 3 killers thing and all that, I feel like with all the like that poster you were just showing, like the Christmas one with like ghost faces everywhere on the screen, would this one? Do you think this movie would be the one to finally do like the cult of ghost faces, or do you think that's too much?
I hope that they don't go the cult route. Like I don't mind like several killers, right? Like especially with all the characters we have, like they could have realistically they could have like 7 killers and like 9 people could still die and you'd still have 4 survivors. There's just so many characters in this movie. So I'm not against if there's like let's say 5 killers, right? And it's like this kind of group. I don't want like a traditional cult though. Like I don't want them like worshiping a Ghostface deity or like sitting around like going like
that's not the vibe. It's
not a religious cult. Yeah.
But what I do think is you have the dreaded thread, right? And our modern day cults are followings, right? I mean, you can make an argument. YouTubers are cult leaders, right? We got our own little. I got the fake decided cult, right? I mean, seriously,
Craven, man.
I say KillJoy cult, so I guess I am.
I got a whole merch line of cult.
Oh no, he's got a whole merch line of cult.
I do,
which I still don't get my 10% for, but it's fine.
You get me, baby, on the collective. So,
but
that's a privilege.
I'm just saying.
Right, I am the collective. No, but on a serious note, is like I don't want like I don't want like a cult in the traditional sense. Like you got the dreaded forum, right? So you got all these people that are like-minded, that are all crazy and off the rockers. Maybe you could tie in Amber and Richie. They were part of this group, and now the group saw Amber and Richie failed, so they want to now go and they're next up. One of the images I use a lot in the videos is like it's the image where it's like a bunch of masks. And Ghostface is like grabbing one of the masks off of what if it was like a next man up mentality, right? Like, so like you could even play that out in the movie where you have like, say an early Ghostface kill. And now we as an audience, we think, okay, there's only one left. Maybe there's 2, maybe they're going to do the big shock of like 3 Ghostface, but we know that there's at least one more, maybe 2, because it's only been 30 minutes into the movie. So we know somebody's got to be out there. And then maybe like another one dies and it's like, okay, so there is one more out there. And then at the end, it's like, oh, there's like several. And then that could also bleed into Scream 7 to where it's like, how many killers are there? Like, are there 30? Are there 10? Like, is this a large group? Is it a small group? Like, what is going on? I just think you could really play into that in multiple ways. I think it could be very interesting, but
yeah, no, I agree with that. Gashead just said something really interesting in the comments, which I like. He's saying like what if there's like 3 killers, the 96 mask dies in the opening, so like they're using different masks per kill. Like let's say they use the 96 mask to kill somebody, and it's like kind of similar to Scream 1 or something. I guess my only thing with that would just be I hope they still find ways to do new kills where it doesn't feel like something I've already seen before. If they want to do that as like kind of a theme where it's like, okay, we're going to use like Stu's mask for the first kill or something. You know what I mean? Sure. Okay. That's cool. Just don't throw a TV on this person's head who dies in the opening scene. You know what I mean? Because that's just like, I've seen that before.
Maybe you could go a Scream 2 route, right? Like, because this does seem to be mirroring Scream 2 a lot. Right. And what if it's by name? Right, because that was the whole thing.
Did that
like
already
Bill
too.
Stevens, right? You had a Maureen Evans, right?
Casey Cooper, who's Casey.
Casey Cooper, right? And that was what Gale figured out. Oh no, this killer is making a real life sequel. It's based on like the names. Like they could do something like that. Like what if the opening kill is 96, and it's what if it's like Hank Loomis, right? Like they killed Billy Loomis's dad. Like okay, a Loomis, a character in Scream 1, right? And then what if in Scream 2? What if they even killed? Like, what if Scream 2 was like Joel? Like, what if the second kill was Joel?
Oh, Joel.
And then like
I would feel bad for Joel.
I would too.
Think about this. So you can
it's a good idea though. Like honestly, I do kind of dig that. Like cleaning up after the past killers.
Yeah. Well, you could do Hank. You could do Hank in Scream 1. You could do Joel in Scream 2. You could do Martha in Scream 3. Kirby Scream 4, and then any of the Meeks twins in Scream 5. And you literally killed a person from each past Scream. Like that. That could be pretty interesting. I don't know if all those, because that means Joel would have to be a cameo. Hank Loomis would have to be a cameo. So, but they're just cameos. Like, they could keep that hush hush, keep that under wraps, have them shoot a death scene, like for a day's filming, and especially because they did a lot of filming in closed corridors. So, like, who knows what was going on in those films? So it's like, what if they just brought everyone in at once and just did it? I mean, it's an interesting thought. Like, you could literally kill a survivor from every single Scream movie.
From Scream 3 though, who was still alive? That was like
you could do like I said, you could do Martha Meeks.
Okay, and yeah, they just had her in the last movie. Yeah. Okay, yeah, duh. I wasn't thinking. I just wasn't thinking.
You could do Hank Loomis. You do Joel Jones from Scream 2.
Yeah.
Martha Meeks from Scream 3. You have Kirby, who's in from Scream 4, and then you have the Meeks twins, Scream 5.
I was just going to say Chad survives, but just barely by the skin of his teeth in Scream 5. That'd be kind of cool if they killed him too, where it's like they're killing all the survivors that just got away or something and then working on everybody else. That might be kind of messed up. I kind of like that as a theme. That would be kind of cool.
That would be cool.
Wrap up loose ends and all that and just kind of give it a fresh start for the next movie. I kind of dig that. I'm not against that.
Yeah, I mean, it could be pretty cool. You just do like a little like cameo scene or something. Like, I don't know. I don't think that they're gonna do that. I don't. Like, my guess is that wouldn't happen. But I think it would be a cool concept. It'd be a cool idea.
Conceptually, I love it though. Like, there is, because like now that you point that out, I'm like, oh yeah, there is somebody now from every movie that has made it out.
That's my next video.
Bam, there you go.
Yeah, so free content. But
so if someone makes it through Scream 6, like just by the skin of their teeth, there you go for Scream. I mean, that's the concept for Scream 7 right there. That might be cool.
You could have somebody that like.
And then have it be revealed to be Stu because he's definitely still alive. I'm kidding.
Stu's just going in order and killing everybody from the past.
I'm kidding, Craven. I'm just messing with you.
Oh yeah, no. So Stu. Oh yeah, Stu's getting ready, man. He's prepared. No doubt about it.
Building himself up.
Getting things ready to go, man.
Trying to get that TV off of his head.
Oh, that TV, dude. He pushed that off his head a long time ago. Well, in fact, I got a text from him earlier saying, keep that stool train filled up. I'm like, I got you, boo.
This sounds like when my parents used to tell me Santa Claus was on the way, like Christmas Eve. Like, it's same energy right now. It's like, Stu just called me. He says he's on the train. Get ready. No,
I don't know what to tell you, man. But yeah, stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh God. So do you guys think with this, with the knowledge that this picture is from the opening scene, do you think the whole thing will be outside? Like, cause we're outside, we're in front of this like crazy looking building at night. Do you think the whole thing's going to be outside, or do you think we're getting like a chase scene through a building or some shit?
I think it'll be a chase scene, or at least I hope so. I think it would be kind of cool to get like an opening scene chasing. Cause like when it comes to openings, like, what are you going to do that's different? Right. Like, you already did the public kill in Scream 2. You did the returning character in Scream 3. You did like the fake out in Scream 4. You did the iconic recreation in Scream 5. So one of the big things that lacked in Scream 5 that many people pointed out and talked about, and we got confirmation that there's going to be several of. They didn't say one. They said there's going to be several.
Yeah.
So is chasings, right? So it would make sense. Like, what better way to kind of start it off with just like a great epic quality chasing? You have this scene in this house, this apartment that leads outside. Maybe they're going down the fire escape and Ghostface is like coming down. Also, like, how cool would it be if like they established two killers that way? Like, what if one killer's in the apartment, chases them down the fire escape, and then the other killer, boom, is just there at the end of the fire escape. Like, and that was the plan all along. And boom, you get two Ghostface established in the opening scene. That could be great. Also, viewer Anon, he said there's something pertaining to the bathroom. Like there's a
Stu train's purring.
Oh my God, he's there.
Maybe outside.
Holy crap. Stu's there.
No.
But granted, take that stuff with a grain of salt. But if there is something accurate, I mean, we don't got a lot of details, but we also did get that image of like the bloody bathroom. So I assume something is pertaining to the bathroom in the opening scene. So maybe somebody's killed in the bathroom. The other person, maybe it's somebody walks in, right? So like, let's say there's the the girl there or whatever, and she gets killed, and the boyfriend comes in and sees Ghostface like pulling the knife out of her in the bathroom, and then takes off running, and the door's locked. Swoop dive, cracks the whatever over Ghostface like always, and then tries to go out the fire escape, runs downstairs right into another Ghostface. Like that could be a cool like play out scene. So
yeah, I dig that. I just like I love the idea of a chase scene like through a building or something and like down a fire escape or just down like an alleyway in New York, and then just kind of giving off the vibes of the city. Like to kind of establish the vibe of your movie in the opening scene, I feel like is so important, and a lot of the Scream films do that so well. So I would love to see that here again with like the New York theme for like just an opening chase, an opening kill. That would be awesome. I want to see that more than anything, honestly. Like just someone getting like chased down an alley, just have it be something really depraved. Like maybe this is like after the kill, he wipes the knife, he kind of looks into the night. People are still walking by and all that, and no one's batting an eye, whatever. It's just some guy in a Ghostface costume just walk away quickly. And then he just gets away. I don't know, something like that I think would be really dark and really showing that, hey, the setting this time is really going to affect the fates of some characters, which I strongly believe it's going to.
Yeah, I think that would be a good approach.
Yeah, I envision this being the end as well. Like almost this may be right before the title card for Scream 6 happens. Like this could be and I'll tell you something, us YouTubers, we get a little too investigatory sometimes in what we do. So I brightened this image up all the way. And it's funny how the studios use the art of dimming to conceal, and it works beautifully. Of course, I wrecked the whole thing with a sledgehammer. I brightened it all the way up, and if you do that, and I wish I had uploaded the picture for you guys to see. And if you upload it all the way and you zoom in on your software, like all the way on the robe, you can't see it here at all, which is beautiful by the studio. On the left-hand side of the robe, which if we're looking at it, it's our right, basically around the chin, the chest area, there is clearly dried blood all over that robe section. And it's there, dried in red. You can see it against that black. And if you look at his hand, their left hand over here, that glove also has dried blood all over it, which looks like what it would. I imagine it would be the same thing as if he took it and did the wipe, the blood all over the hand. It's all over that glove. You can see it really clear. You got to zoom in, brighten it all the way up, and you see, oh yeah, that's dried. That's dried red all over the glove. So I think this is absolutely after the kill's all done, and it's exciting, man. I'm pumped to see it. And one thing I want to show, not to go in reverse, but I guess I will. We talked about the multiple masks earlier. I was uploading this just now, but there's the image I put together to really show the differences. It's really obvious. It's so clear these are different masks.
Yeah, absolutely. Without a doubt.
Your subway mask, your alley mask. And I misspelled alley there. I know. It's my friend Allie. It's hers. And
Allie's the killer. Dang
Allie's the killer. I shouldn't have revealed that. Exactly. And then this is my first draft of it. I corrected it before I put my video together. And then aged mask over here on the right, which I just call it the aged mask. But yeah. Those are all very different masks, guys. And what's interesting is, and of course, we know the marketing team for Paramount, not very stellar reputation based on Scream 5, but I still have to believe it's very intentional because they know people like the three of us and lots of others that do this kind of stuff will figure this out pretty quickly. So they're intentionally, obviously, dropping to us not only on the poster with all these 19 Ghostface masks, but here they're showing us there's more going on here than what we're used to seeing. I really do believe that. Yeah.
Now, with the mask that we just got from that new picture and from the ones in like the teaser trailer, could those be the same masks though? Because like it kind of looks like he's looking up. You can see the light bouncing off of the bottom of his of Ghostface's mouth in that middle picture. So I think the only reason the mouth is shorter is because he's looking up. You know what I mean? Like if you were to look down, it would appear longer. Does that make sense? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but it kind of just because you're doing an up angle there too. He's looking up. I feel like that's what makes the mouth shorter. But maybe I'm just crazy.
No, I think it's different.
Yeah, I definitely think they're different masks. I do.
No.
I mean, I do understand your point. I do see your point.
But look at
But
the nose too. Sorry,
The
face.
nose
Look at
does
the
look
no.
different.
Yeah,
nose.
the
I
Is
will
nose.
give
mask
you
I
is
was
that,
just,
different.
I was just gonna point out the nose, and also the Alley mask by Craven's friend Alley. Like that one. That one's glossier.
Yes, it shines.
It really
That's a good
shines
point. Yeah, that
compared
is a
to
good
the other
point.
one. So I'm
Yep.
pretty sure those are three different masks.
Yeah.
And like
The
I said, there's
simply mask is
probably
a
going to be
mask.
several because we know
Mm-hmm.
all of the other all the other Ghostface masks are stolen out of the museum.
There's the
So
museum. Look
yeah,
at that. There it is, right there.
yeah. So we know that those are all missing. So I imagine there's probably going to be several masks. I'm sure there's going to be more than just those three masks.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of my thought, at least.
Yeah.
But
it's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
This has got the potential to be really a creative story, really original, really fun story, and it's also leading to where if this is what it appears to be with multiple Ghostface masks, potentially killers, I really hope with Kirby being in the FBI and Dermot Mulroney being an investigator, I hope this, and I think we talked about this before, I want this to feel more like a procedural mystery movie. Like we're investigating, we are looking at evidence. It has more of the older Scream feel where we're actually trying to figure out who it could be. And we're pointing at different people. Oh, could be them. Where were they at? Where'd you come from? All that stuff. Kind of like, I mean, they captured it for like maybe 30 seconds in Scream 5. At the very end, when they're in the house and everyone's running in. Tara's coming in with Amber. Richie drops the beers. Liv comes running in. Remember that scene where it's like, oh, it felt like I was watching Clue for like 30 seconds. They were all
Tension was
each other.
high.
Yeah, that was perfect. The problem is that's the only time in an hour and 54 minutes that we were felt that way.
I disagree with that.
Arguably,
personally.
maybe there were other moments a little here and there, but I think we all pretty much already knew who the killers were anyway. But if we go into this movie where we're really not spoiled by the trailer, we truly understand there's a mystery element, much more of a mystery. It gives me hope that this is going to be a real whodunit. 5 really wasn't really a whodunit.
You have so many characters in this movie,
Dude,
right?
14.
Like, you have such a great way to just misdirect and keep us all in the dark. And
yeah,
you have 15, 14 characters
14
that you can just misdirect with. Like that's a great thing to have, right? So I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope that they kind of keep this under wraps. Do you think that maybe they reveal a killer early on if they have like say 3 or 4 killers? Like, do you think that maybe they leak one in the trailer just to kind of give you something to talk about?
Oh no, I hope they don't.
Oh
do that.
no,
no, save that for the movie. Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah,
Yes.
no, we'll save that for the movie. But if you want to do it like halfway through the second act or someone like a goat, like one of the survivors stops Ghostface and kills him, I'm down for I think that's a great reveal. I would be totally down for that, but not in the trailer.
Yeah, but think about it. That's kind of like what you did in your movie. If we know from the beginning, let's just call it Dermot Mulroney, right?
Okay.
Like let's say they reveal that he's a part of it in the trailer, right? So now us going into the movie, we know that okay, he's part of the killing, right? He's a killer in this film. There's obviously got to be more because I don't think they're going to reveal the only killer in this movie. And so now we get this sort of perspective of Ghostface the entire time. So if he's in the movie 90% of the time and we know and he's the detective or whatever, we know that he's covered. It adds a new element to Scream that we've never really gotten before. I don't know if it would work or not. I don't know how many people would be receptive to something like that, but it is something like you did. You made a movie in the perspective of the killer. Yes, we knew that, that there were the 2 killers in your movie, but we didn't know how it was gonna unfold, and it was cool to see different perspectives and have you guys do the back. You could do something similar in this movie, where and then who's his accomplice, or is there multiple?
If that's the whole idea behind the movie, then yes, I just don't think they'll do something that ambitious. And that's kind of that was the big reason why we wanted to do the movie. If they do end up doing that in Scream 6, that would be awesome. That would, oh my God, nothing would make me happier to see something completely out of left field like that. But To me, I don't think they would do that because it breaks the mold too much. Like I think they're like I think like because you're still working with Hollywood. As much as I love Radio Silence, I think they have to work in a certain confine that like Hollywood, if it starts to get out of that a little bit, the producers might just be like, I don't know about that, you know? As much as I would love for that to happen, I feel like that's actually breaking the mold so far that most people wouldn't like that. We knew that going into Red Right Hand. I mean, we knew going into Red Right Hand that some people would really strongly dislike it because of how much we changed the formula, but it was it was risk and reward for trying to get something new out of it, though, because I just feel like I love all the Scream movies. They're all great, but they're all kind of the same thing too. So that was kind of the idea behind that. I hope they do something to break the mold, if it's a little tiny fraction of something, like just kind of fucking with one element of it. Like, oh, let's just twist this one little nipple right here and see what happens.
Dude, honestly, 3 killers is enough for me to that breaks the mold.
I agree, and
that's enough.
That wouldn't be too crazy. You know what I mean? That doesn't break the whole structure of the opening kill, then the exposition, you know, all that.
I agree.
You guys don't think that's too obvious at this point?
It's never been done.
It's never been done in 5 movies.
And I agree. I understand that, but that doesn't mean it's not obvious, right? Because that's kind of like the one thing all of us are kind of expecting going in this movie. Even just like, you know, random people, right? Like I get comments all the time where like, my bet is that there's going to be 3 Ghostface, right? So I just like, don't you think that that's like, yes, it breaks the mold. It's something different, something new. But don't you think like it wouldn't be as shocking? I mean, obviously the 3, like who are the 3? That could be done.
We talk about it all the time. You know what I mean? There are people who are going to go and see this thing in March who, you know, they've never talked about it with their, but yeah, they're not like, oh, every image I'm looking at this. Like we're looking at every single image, every single post, and studying the hell out of it. I think it'll still be shocking, and that's kind of how I base movies. Like if something's like, oh, this was well written, this is a cool way to take the franchise, and I'm like, okay, I review it well. That's awesome. I also feel like it's the execution of it too, because if they just revealed 3 killers randomly at the end, that would kind of suck
at the same time.
Yeah, it's just like,
oh wow,
what? Like what was the point of that? You literally just added one more person. That didn't add anything to the formula. You know what I mean? So I think if they're gonna do 3 killers, do that thing where right in the middle, one of the survivors kills a ghost face and unmasks him. Because that's something I've always wanted to see too. So you're kind of knocking out 2 birds with one stone by doing something like that.
Yeah,
it's true.
Another sort of transition point is they've been hinting towards Mindy dying a lot.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's it. So, I mean, you could look at it one of 2 ways, right? Either they're kind of preparing us for her death and it's going to happen, kind of like the Dewey route, the Dewey approach, or it's going to be the opposite where it's like, it's so obvious it's not going to happen, right? Like they're pointing at it so much that it's just it's going to end up being somebody else. It's going to end up being Chad or something like that. Now, personally, for a long time, I thought Chad was going to be the goner. I thought he was going to be the one expendable. But the more you think about it, the more you look at it, I actually think Chad survives. Because now that Kirby's there, Mindy, I think, becomes a lot more expendable. Yes, they are different characters, but they are sort of the same molded character, that female Randy-esque character. So I think that, like, is there a world for both of them? Sure. But you think that they would want to get rid of one to be able to shine a light more on the other. So I think all signs point to Mindy. I think secondly, you wouldn't you want to have like that male Big Brother Dewey-esque character, right? You kind of replicate the OG3 where you have, you know, Tara and Sam are the Sydney and Gale, and then you have Chad as like surrogate Big Brother. Also, if Mindy dies, follows the Dewey trajectory, lost his sister, you know, now he's kind of like in this thing. He's got Sam and Tara that he looks at as like, you know, the family that he needs to protect, that he needs to go over. Even from a David Arquette and Mason Gooding standpoint, both were supposed to die. Both went to test audiences. Audiences said, no, you need to keep them alive. They changed the outcome of both characters. Both, another big reason, both David Arquette and Mason ended up surviving was also just production, and everyone really liked them. They loved David Arquette and wanted him around longer. Same thing with Mason Gooding. Like, they literally said one of the reasons he survived was because we liked him so much and we wanted to bring him back for another movie. Like, so, I mean, from an actor standpoint to a character standpoint, it's Dewey 2.0. So yeah. I think that it's very likely Mindy's going to die. But what are your guys' thoughts in general? Like, do you think they both survive? Like, maybe they kind of replicate that, and maybe they continue on with the core four and have the core four survive. I do think multiple of them will probably die at some point, but it doesn't mean you have to kill them in this movie. Maybe all four of them survive, and that's what it is. But what do you guys think?
Craven, I'll let you lead with this one.
Yeah, you want to lead with
sure.
this one?
Yeah, sure. I think personally, I still believe one of the Meeks twins is not going to make it. I really do. I think, and before I thought it was Chad, like hardcore, for a while, for months. I said, "Oh, it's going to be Chad. They're not going to get rid of the Randy type, whatever." But now I honestly switched it. I do believe Mindy's not going to make it. I think and I think Chad. Fate brings up a really good point about Chad, because we don't have that character right now where we can kind of hold on to the heart, if you will, of the franchise, like Dewey was. And now I know he's not yet, because he didn't have enough lines in 5 to really establish it, but they could change that all in this movie. So I'm with you. I think, if you think about it, how the parallels are there, and we need that male figure, that Dewey figure. You just do. It's the dynamic of the past. You kind of want to keep it together to some degree. So I do believe, and I'm sticking with this unless something dramatically changes in the next trailer. I really think Mindy is not going to make it. I don't think you could because honestly, you guys, and not me, because you know how I feel about Dewey. I won't rehash all that. It's done. It's over. It's fine. Whatever. But one thing that I know I've heard you guys say many times, how you applauded Radio Silence for doing that, because it keeps you guessing like anyone's safe. I mean, anyone's can go. I will tell you this: if the core four survive this movie, then they're no, you can't no longer say that about the Radio Silence, or the writing team, because if you keep all of them together again, then they're just doing exactly what Wes did. There's no difference.
I think it depends on how this movie ends, though, because if this is a part 1 of part 2,
well,
which it very well could be, if this doesn't have a definitive end, then you can justify it. Now, if this is like your typical cut and dry, beginning, middle, end Scream movie, yes, then you're absolutely right. But I just think it depends on how this movie ends, because there's lots of talks about there being a cliffhanger ending. And if that's the case, then you
can make the argument it's part 1.
It's a part 1 or part 2. So
all right, I'll give you that.
I didn't mean to cut you off. I just thought that was a point that needed to.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And I'll go with that. I agree with that. I think I could buy that if they do it that way. But I think for them to keep this going, and when Tyler said back in what was it, March or April, whenever it was, that they are willing to risk it all to subvert expectations for fans, then I want to see one of them go. I think you need to do one of the twins needs to go to keep this feeling going of, wow, anyone can go kind of attitude, which we have right now going into the movie, I think. So yeah, so that's my feeling on it. I think Mindy is the one that's going to go, and I honestly believe they are setting us up for that in the teaser trailer. Yeah. If this next trailer continues to show like some scene of Mindy that's really bleak, they could be pulling what they did for Dewey with us in that trailer, how they prepared us, right? So if I take the trailer at face value, the teaser, just at face value, based on 5 and how they did it, you can make a case. They're letting us know, get ready, get ready to say bye to Mindy. So those are my thoughts. Yeah.
What about you, Jake?
Yeah, dude, it's really tough to say, because I think you make a really good point for why Mindy could go and why they should keep Chad. To me, though, I think there's also really good reasons to kill off Chad, too. And it all depends on where they're at a year later after the events of 5. I mean, the most interesting thing about some of these movies in this franchise is we're always kind of left on a little bit of a cliffhanger with how the characters react to the past events, and we don't really get to see that until the next movie most of the time. So with this one especially, we have 6 people. Well, 5 of them are coming back for the new movie. that made it through the last film. What was their reaction to what happened in Scream 5? Is there any physical damages that are lasting? Like with Chad, especially. Like, he was an athlete. Now, is he still getting that scholarship, or does he actually have to do his schoolwork now and like choose a different profession? How is that going to affect him in this new movie? And I think that if he does have something like that, you can kind of turn him into like a tragic hero or something, where it's like he has this awful situation, but he saves the day at the end and dies doing it. They could do something like that. The counter to that is killing Mindy too, just like on the subway, like in that scene, which I also think would be cool, and yes, would give Kirby more time to shine in this new movie. But I also feel like you can find something brand new in having two Randy-ish characters in the same movie. So I'm really excited to see both of them have like little debacles or fights about horror movies. That's where all your meta commentary can come from. I don't know. I'm actually really excited to see that angle to it. So I hope Mindy doesn't die off too quickly, neither her or Kirby, if Kirby does die in this new one. But I don't know, man. I'm not against. I do want to see one of the core. I do think one of the core four is at least one is dying, like for sure. Like, I think that's my one thing that if I were to bet money on right now, they're not going to play it safe with that. Not with this one. This one's going to be a bloodbath, I think. And maybe the next movie, not as many deaths and it's more story focused, but this is going to be a bloodbath. Mark my words.
Love it, dude.
That's fair. That's fair. Sort of one last point of topic, and then we get out of here or whatever, because I know you guys got other live stream stuff. So Courtney Cox is executive producer on this Scream, which is awesome, right?
Yes.
But which unfortunately, executive producer doesn't mean what it once was. It just means like if you had any idea, or you're just like, oh, hey, you want executive producer, but still, nonetheless, something to add to a resume, something to add to the title. But it really makes me think more now than ever that she's going to die, because she wanted to be killed in Scream 4 and Wes told her no. And she had no creative control. Scream 5, same thing, no creative control. Scream 6, if she's an executive producer, that means she has some say in creative control, which is probably towards her character, which means now she might actually have a say of whether Gale lives or dies. And so I've already kind of been on the fence about Gale living or dying. I think that this is a real movie that they could look at as an opportunity to kill Gale and really move away and transition away from the OG3 into their new characters and kind of continue the story into 7. Obviously, if they can get Sydney back, I'm sure they could get her back, but you could have her come back whether Gale lives or dies regardless. And I don't think it's not like Gale and Sydney were like BFFs, like blood sisters, right. Like they did. So I don't think that really would have an impact either way. And I think, Gale's got her, or Courtney has her, has her new show that's got a second season. She's doing all these other creative projects. Stu Train again.
Stu left.
Stu Train, baby.
Stu had to go.
She's
made a sandwich, pieced out. Yeah, okay, sorry.
But she's doing all these like creative projects and stuff like that. This could very well be the end of her thing, like her run in Scream. Not necessarily saying that she has to die, but she wanted to die. She didn't want to be written like Courtney Cox wanted Gale to die because she thought it was so fitting to the character and it was fitting to Scream. She didn't want her to just go off in the sunset. She doesn't have Dewey now. She's kind of very likely going to resort back to 96 Gale. It's kind of this full circle moment. This might be the best opportunity to kill Gale Weathers, and it might make the most sense. So I really think after seeing that executive producer thing, I was like, that means she had a say in something. And is that say her I don't imagine her having say in the new characters or anything else. I imagine it's going to be in her character, because who knows Gale Weathers better than Courtney Cox, right? So I imagine the team, especially with rewrites and stuff like that, probably were like, okay, well, how would you do this? We have this idea. What would you do? How would you go about it? That kind of thing. And I think that could also lead to her saying like, okay, well, this movie is the movie I'm going to die. Like I wanted to be killed in 4. I gave you 2 movies after 4. So that's it. I'm done. Kill me. What are your guys' thoughts? Jake, you want to start?
I'll let Craven start on this one. I want to think for a little bit.
Well, some people may be shocked, but this is yet another time that Fade and I agree. This is like 2 times we're agreeing on this live stream, which is
that never happened.
Wow, yeah.
Mark
the calendar.
Is Armageddon outside?
I seriously watch out for zombies coming out next door, your neighbors. But no, I love you, bro. But it's true, man. It's fun. But seriously, in all seriousness, though, joking aside, I do think that when I saw that rumor or that information, whatever you want to call it, about her being executive producer, my first thought, gut feeling was, oh no, she's dead. Because I really think that makes it more likely that she is going to die than she's not going to die now. Because her being in that executive producer role, it's almost like you could see Scream 7 and she's still an executive producer. Just how Radio Silence is and Project X Media, the entertainment company who's producing the movie, they're hanging on to all of Wes Craven's right and left hand people. Like if you look at the executive producers, Jake, you've got Marianne Madalena still.
Yeah.
You've got Kathy Conrad. Those are and people who know the Wes Craven movies, these are his right hand, left hand people that worked with him, produced with him for decades, not just like a movie or two. I mean, Marianne Madalena, he started a production company with her for producing other horror movies that weren't his own. So the fact that they're all still attached to this, even Scream 5, they're all there. Kevin Williamson, he's still there. He's not doing anything on this, but he's there. He's a consultant. I could see Courtney Cox continuing to be there every movie. Executive producer Courtney Cox. They're keeping that like the Scream family together. And so I'm nervous, Jake. I really am. I'm more nervous now that she's not going to survive this movie than I was before that announcement came out, personally. What do you think, man?
Dude, like me, I was kind of in the same boat, and I didn't want to be the first person to say it. But like when I saw she was going to be an executive producer, I'm like, okay, that means she has faith in the project. But the last time we heard about Courtney Cox wanting to make some kind of big creative decision was she wanted to die viciously. So now with that and with what happened in the last movie, we're killing legacy characters now. Radio Silence is not afraid to do that. Yeah. I think it's very likely that Gale doesn't make it through this new movie. And that kind of has me sad. If she dies, that's pretty, and if Sydney doesn't come back, that's it for the legacy characters.
Yeah.
So that's pretty that would be pretty sad, I think. It would be it would definitely be a sad movie, but I don't know. It's one of those things where if it works, it works. I think Dewey it arguably works for me, like his death. I think it does motivate certain things to happen. I feel like there's a different way you could have done it, personally. But I don't know. It's one of those things where like I love the shock value of it. I love the fact that they did that. Totally, I was not expecting it. I'm like, these guys are fanboys. They're not going to kill Dewey, and they do it. They just straight up do it. They're like, screw it, we're doing it. I think with Gale, though, they don't have a reason to kill her to do something. You know what I mean? Their excuse for killing Dewey was we had to bring Sydney into it again, and there's no way she would come back to Woodsboro otherwise. I get it. Okay, whatever. That can be your way to get Sydney there. Feel like we could have done something else, but still, it works. Yeah. Cool. Why would they kill Gale? Like, is there a reason? Is there a motivation? Or are you just doing it for shock value this time? Right. Because with Dewey, I can excuse it because it's not just shock value. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, you're right. You know what I mean? Like, at some point, she's going to die. I mean, the motive would be that Courtney Cox wanted her to die. But, like, I mean, it's not like we're in some, like, dramatic, thriller or something. And it's like, man, like we're like when you watch a show and they kill off one of the popular characters,
You're right, but what I would argue is that the big difference between Friday the 13th and Scream, there are many things, but one of the biggest things is the fact that we've had characters continue on from movie 1 all the way here into 6. So now if you kill that last character, you're essentially, by killing Gale Weathers, you're killing that aspect of the entire franchise, because Sydney may or may not come back for a future entry. Dewey's gone. If you kill Gale, that's it. Like, you know what I mean? So are they going to do that? Are they actually going to kill that cool aspect of the series or not?
Yeah, but then you have Sydney riding off into the sunset, very likely. So, and she was the girl.
That's my point. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so, like, Dewey and Gale die in that like tragic Romeo and Juliet way, and then Sydney, who's the main girl, the final girl, always gets to remain the final girl, right? And her arc stays consistent, and she's the only final girl to really do that through multiple movies. I mean, even Jamie Lee Curtis has died in Halloween movies. So I mean, Neve Campbell would be the final girl, the one that always survived, that always went. And she finally she has her husband, she has her kids, which they established in Scream 5. I'm sure that they're going to give some explanation as to why Sydney is not in this movie and why Ghostface isn't going after her. So, I mean, you kill Gale, you kill Dewey, you move on, and you give an explanation for why where Sydney's at. Maybe she moved to like Costa Rica or something like that. She went to wherever, and she's just living her life happy, healthy, and away from it all. Like, maybe that could be the approach that they go. But I don't know.
Yeah. I hope she doesn't die. That's all I have to say about Gale. I don't. Yeah. I want her to survive personally in this coming movie. But I would feel better, honestly, if she was an executive producer. Yeah. It's true.
As soon as I saw that, I was like, "Oh, this probably means she's gonna die."
I felt exactly the same. I'm like, "Oh, here we go."
Yeah.
It seemed like, here's my thing. Like, we got that video a little while ago of Courtney Cox when she got done with filming, and like she's getting chased by Ghostface and all that. Like, it seems like she is excited for this one, and it seems like I think it all depends on when they start marketing this puppy. Like, the moment we get the trailer to when it releases, which it could be any day now.
Sure.
I genuinely think we'll have a clearer understanding of who they're trying to market as the forefront of this movie. If it's Gale, yeah, I'm gonna be 100%. Yeah, like, she's gonna die. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm at a 90% right now. I'm at about a 90%, but there's that 10% where I'm like, oh, okay, maybe it's just misdirection. But dude, if they start pumping, if they're like big poster with Gale on the front of it and all the other characters behind her, or something like that. You know what I mean? That's just a random example. She's a goner. Like, she's a goner in my mind, and I think that it's one of those things where if it's executed well, cool. Okay, if it's a good kill and it's something where it's like, okay, we've been waiting 6 movies to see how this person dies, and you give us something really good, okay, cool. But if there's still more to do with her character, which I personally feel like there could be, I think she's actually, hot take, I think she's the most interesting character out of Sydney, Dewey, and Gale. I think Gale's my number one pick there.
I agree. I've even said on several occasions, I think Gale has had the greatest story arc and the greatest character development out of all of them. Like, she's had the best story arc and the best character development. But yeah,
so she's a valuable character. If they kill her off, I just don't know how I'd feel about it. I got to see it, and then I can tell
off the final girl without having to kill off the final girl, though.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, if you kill Gale, and an extra justification, like, you basically get to do what every franchise has done at some point, or horror franchise has done at some point, killed their final girl, but you didn't kill the final girl. Like, it's just, I don't know. I think it'll get the point across that you want. I think it'll start conversations. It'll drive the discussions and the conversations like it did with Dewey. I also don't think it'll be as bad, right? Because I think, like, you got camps that believe that she probably is gonna die. You have other camps that you already went through the Dewey thing, so nothing's out the window now. I definitely think Gale is put in several compromised positions this time, though. I really do. I think that they're going to put her. I think she gets like a Scream 2 chase scene, and I think she gets a phone call this time, and I think she gets, like, outside of like the Scream 2 chase scene, I think she gets some type of like other like compromised scenario where, like, she's running out of a burning building or something, like something crazy where it's like, oh, did she just die? And then maybe they pay it off. But I could honestly envision a Scream 2 style chase scene where it's just her and it leads to her death at the end. Like the classroom.
And dude, even saying that, it's like that would kind of be satisfying to have to pay homage to Scream 2 with that scene too, and then just to see her get killed. It's almost like watching that same scene from Scream 2 with a different outcome. Like, what if Ghostface got Gale in that scene? It's just like,
because now
it intrigues me.
You don't have Dewey to take the blunt of it. You don't have Dewey to take the hit like in Scream 2. So if it's just Gale and she's running from the killer, and especially it would be really cool if they were killing in tandem, right? If you had multiple killers in tandem, right? Like we mentioned earlier with the opening scene, and like we as an audience know that like Gale could be run like, and all of the kills are one killer funneling the other to the other killer, like, and it's just like that's how they basically kill, like because you're not gonna not run from a killer. So my job as killer A,
I wouldn't run.
Like
I would stand there and say, "Let's go, Ghostface." That's what I would do.
Try to shoot a laser beam out of your forehead. If you push hard enough, it'll happen.
I will stop your blade with my mind.
Yeah, exactly. Turn into 11 from Stranger Things for like 5 seconds. It'll work.
Bro,
you'll be fine.
Could you imagine Gale being chased in her TV studio? Remember, it was a recording studio.
Dude.
And 2, what if it's her TV studio and they kind of pay homage to the scene from 2, but she dies this time?
This conversation really wants me. Like, I really want to see Gale die now after this conversation. No. Is that bad? Is that I'm like, all of these ideas, I'm like, they just keep getting better. I'm like, all of this is actually so interesting to me.
Damn. There's so many ways you could go about it. And it makes sense. It really does. Like, I don't know. I really think the probability is high. And I definitely think that I definitely think she at least gets a phone call, and I think that she's at least in several compromised positions to where it's like, okay, and that's it, which they should. Even if they don't kill her, you should put her in a couple scenes where it looks like he's going to die, especially after you just killed Dewey, because that's just going to make those scenes that much more impactful, because we're all going to be sitting there like, oh, is this the moment? Like, is this the moment Gale dies? Like, so if they're smart, they'll kind of hammer a couple of those scenes. But I just, look, a lot of people are probably going to die in this film just because we have so many characters. You got to imagine that there's going to be 9 deaths, something like that at least. And you got to imagine there's got to be at least 1 shock kill. And I don't think you're going to kill Tara. I don't think you're going to kill Sam. I don't think either of the Meeks twins are shock value, because I think we all expect one of them to die. Kirby, maybe you can make an argument, would be a shock value kill.
Oh, otherwise, man, dude! Like if Mindy dies, you're telling me that's not. I mean, like it's maybe a tiny bit expected. You don't think that's going to be shocking?
Nah, I don't think so. I think one, all signs pointed to it. 2, even if it is like a little bit surprising, I don't think it's going to be impactful. Like, they didn't do a good job developing the Meeks twins in Scream 5, right? No. Like, is anybody going to be upset that Mindy or Chad died? Probably not. I mean, I'm sure that there's some people somewhere, but I think most people will be like, okay, right? Like I don't think it's going to get the Randy reaction.
Oh, no.
Or like the Dewey reaction. Nobody cares about them to the level that they should. So that means if you want to have an impactful kill that is actually like, damn, that like actually hits people, it's got to be either Kirby or Gale. Otherwise, no, we don't care about any of these characters that much. Tara is probably the only one people would give a shit about, and it's not even because of Tara the character.
No, Jenna.
Dude, that's like, this is messed up, but this is why I would love to see Tara die, because it would be so shocking. Like, you would not expect it. She's this huge star right now. I mean, I'll be honest, the only thing I can come up with, though, is shock value, but if they had a good reason to do it, okay. I would be like, green light. Let's go. Let's see what happens. But I don't know. I don't think that I'm with you guys though. I don't think they will do it, but it would be like, oh my God, no way did they just do that? I don't know.
I just think all signs point to, if you want an impactful kill, you got to kill Kirby or you got to kill Gale. I just think that those are the only 2. Like, because like Sam, they're not going to kill Sam. She's the final girl. And I think that they continue to develop her more. I think they kind of, want her. And I've been a huge defender of Sam, but they didn't do the best job in the world of building her as like a final girl, right? Like it was kind of mediocre, right? Like I like her a lot. And I've been a huge defender of Sam, like in just her character and the way she portrayed it, Melissa Barrera, all that stuff. But they didn't do a great job. Like they didn't build her the way that they built Sydney or even Jill in Scream 4. So that they're not going to kill her. Tara, yes, they could kill her as the shock value. I could see her dying just simply on the fact that like Jenna Ortega might be out of reach by the time Scream 7 comes around, right? Like at the trajectory she's going. She has 2 more movies coming up like in the next
I don't doubt it, dude. I predict she's gonna have an even bigger year this year.
Yeah, so I don't know, that could be something, but I don't think, like, all the new characters we don't even know yet, so none of those are going to be impactful. And out of the core 4 characters, we don't really care about the Meeks twins because they didn't develop them. They didn't really do anything. Like, I liked Chad a lot. I liked Mindy I thought they were both really great, but like they didn't do anything for me. It wasn't like, oh man, like those are the characters. Like, we need to see these characters survive. Like, I don't think any of us batted an eyelash when we thought they both died. You know, I don't think anybody was like, oh, well, that sucks. I can't believe they just killed Chad. Oh, man, that sucks. I can't believe they just killed.
Well, he's only in like 3 scenes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They didn't.
It's not there enough. It's like, oh, well, I like what I saw, but I didn't see enough. I mean, the biggest lines he had was this Hobbs and Shaw. Yeah. And then when he tells Liv he's not going to go upstairs, that's it.
Yeah.
The rest is just, I mean, that's all we really know.
I mean,
Chad.
that was funny, though.
Yeah.
Oh, it was funny. I loved it.
He had some good moments, but not just that.
That's not.
Sorry. Yeah.
I'm just saying, but we never got to know him.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, we don't know what
you're not going to be able to develop him enough in Scream 6 before you kill him. Like,
I don't know, man.
I imagine they're going to develop him more. I think the Meeks twins will get more shine in this movie than they did in Scream 5. But even then, like, I don't think you're going to be able to build them enough to where it's truly going to leave an impact. Where it's like, damn, like, I love Chad. Like, I would hate to see him die. And then 20 minutes later, he dies. I just don't.
Here's my thing with Scream 5, that it does this differently from the other movies, and this is why I think everyone's like, oh, you know, there's just no character development in that movie. It's just done differently. It's not like they had to. I hate using this word, but they had to rush it a little bit because they had to save space for the whole Sydney, Gale, and Dewey plotline because it's a requel. They had to do that. Yeah. And requels are just conceptually not the best because you're essentially trying to make 2 movies at the same time. Most of them are like that, and that's why a lot of them are structurally just not fantastic. Like, even Halloween 2018, I would argue, could have probably found a better way to get to where it got to. I feel the same way about Scream 5, but I still like it, and there's still character development there.
I like it
with Chad, for instance, I mean, he's got the whole, like, Find My Fam app thing, which is not, like, the most developed thing I've ever seen for a character, but it's there, and you get to see the way he thinks about the whole situation. I think everyone from the group has their own way of dealing with the situation, too, which is only ever briefly shown to us at that beginning little conversation when you're having them, like, outside the school and all that. So it's brief, but it's there. Like, the other movies definitely do a better job at focusing on that aspect of it, but it is all there, I think, is my argument. It doesn't, like... It's there, but it doesn't let it marinate for long enough. It's undercooked. I think is like I think that's the best way to, at least for how after watching it like 20 sometimes, I'm like, yeah, it's there, but it just doesn't, it's not, they could have relaxed for a second. They could have just taken a moment to breathe with the characters where they don't. They're kind of just very fast paced. Let's move on to the next thing now. We did that. Cool. Let's go do a kill now. You know?
So what you're saying then is like each of these characters is like a little chicken nugget. And you throw it in the microwave frozen, but you take it out like 40 seconds early, and it's like lukewarm.
The middle's like a little,
It's like, oh no, I need more.
It's edible,
it's edible,
but leave it in a little longer, man.
It'd have been a lot better if we had more time in the microwave.
Now, I think 6 will work on that, though. I think 6 will retroactively correct that.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where I got to see it first before I really start to judge it, you know? Because, like, if they're like, oh, yeah, fuck it, we're just going to kill both the Meeks twins in, like, the first 30 minutes, then I'm going to be like, well, guys, come on. You had time now. We don't have to bring legacy characters back into it, you know?
Do you guys think they kill them both? Because I don't think they'll
Maybe.
I don't, personally.
I mean, it wouldn't shock me, but I think at least one of them. I wouldn't be shocked if they both die when all is said and done. But I don't think they'll kill them both in this movie. Imagine if they died together.
That would actually be kind of cool.
That would be kind of cool.
I wouldn't expect that. Honestly.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah. Like they're like together trying to survive and they both get killed together. Like that'd be a good way to establish like the cult. Or like not the cult, but like a group of them.
2 killers
like,
at the same time killing. Yeah,
or just like multiple. Like you have the Meeks twins like get funneled into this room and they're like back to back. And like each staring at a killer, and then another killer comes in, and another killer comes in, and now they're like, they're surrounded by like 5 killers. Like that would be a cool thing. Like that'd be something I'd be like, oh shit,
wow,
like okay, they're dead,
dude. Well, guys, listen, I know that there's a lot. I know Jake's got a stream coming up. Knight's got a stream coming up later on. This has been fun. This has been a really great conversation. What an exciting time. We've got the rest of this month and we've got all of February to theorize, try to connect dots that may or may not be there, whether they're white dots, pink dots, X marks, or larger circles. It doesn't matter. We will try to figure it all out. But the trailer's coming later this month too. I can't wait to hear our discussions and theories when we get a 2-minute trailer to dive into. That's going to be so awesome. But in the meantime, Jake, what's coming up for you, man, tonight? What's up next?
So I'm talking with some of my buddies about Megan. I'm very excited to talk about it, break this movie down. I'm shocked by how much there is to talk about. Like, it is so much more than a killer doll flick. So come on over if you've seen Megan, and we are going to talk spoilers. So just a little heads up there. We'll maybe do a little non-spoiler thing for the first 10 minutes, but after that, we're getting into spoiler territory. So come on by and check it out.
Nice. And then I know Knight's got something going on tonight at like 7 or 8 o'clock. So check him out too. Fate, do you have anything tonight?
I got just the Laker live stream. I did start that opinion channel that everyone wanted me to do, which I think is a cool way to kind of merge my Fate Decided community and my sports community. I did get my first video up there on the whole Logan Paul scam that's going on right now. Alleged scam.
Alleged.
Let me correct.
Alleged.
Yeah, the alleged scam. So yeah, I did do that. Go check out that channel. And it's called Fate's Take. So it should be linked. I know a lot of you went and subscribed already. I got like 510 subscribers or something like that over there. So that's cool. It's
Beautiful.
awesome. I appreciate y'all very much. And yeah, so go check that channel out. I'm not gonna post daily like I do on the other ones, just kind of like when something comes up. But also, if you have suggestions of things you want me to talk about, don't want to talk about religion, I'm not going to talk about politics. Those are two things I'm not talking about giving my opinion on because I don't want the headache. But like, just random stuff. I don't want to get too much into drama, just kind of like, stuff that like real world stuff. Give my take on things. So just have fun over there. So yeah, let me know. And Wayne, I'm still waiting for the call from the Lakers for my 10-day contract. It's official. So thank you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you all for your support.
That's awesome, man. Very cool. Excited to see where that general talk goes. That's going to be fun to see what you put up there. Real quick before we head out, I've got one thing I'll mention. It's tomorrow night, Saturday, my usual streaming time, 9:30 p.m. Central. I've got some guests. I've got Sledgehammer Horror. I've got Nightwatch Zone, Gory B Movie, I Like Scary, and then Eric from the Bearded Entertainment. And we're going to be talking about our top 5 best and worst horror movies of 2022. It's a look back at last year one last time before we start looking forward to the amazing films, guys, coming out this year. And as you know, there's a lot of good ones potentially on the agenda for 2023, including Megan, which I can't wait to see. And you look so great. And Jake, by the way, we have to end it this way properly. Jake, you held in there the entire show with the Megan wig. And here's the thing: we got a request from me, myself, and the movie that for our finale of the stream, could we have a little Megan dance from you? What do you think, man?
You just like making me dance, don't you, Craven?
I love it. You know I do.
He can make your bubs down.
That's right.
What's the thing she does in the movie? She does like that arm thing,
Yeah,
she's kind of like
arms.
like a TikTok video or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, there you go. Little bit of that. Yeah. Get wrecked.
Awesome.
There you go.
Love it. All right, guys. Well, listen, we're going to end it here for today. We'll be back, though, on Monday, 4:30 Central Time for a Q&A show. So bring your questions on Monday, and we'll dive into the chat. Thank you all for being here. This was a great show, great turnout. Have a wonderful weekend. And the collective has spoken. Whoa. What was that?